Hello, I'm not really one to celebrate Valentine's Day. It's not one of my top tier holidays, but my Pinterest has been inundated with adorable paper crafts, like handmade party invitations, letters, and like snail mail ideas. I love letters. I love epistolary? Epistolary? We can check that, hang on.
Epistolary.
Epistolary. Books that are written with letters. I love these children's books. I don't know what you even call it. I think it's like an interactive children's book. And I had this little like secret fairy party book when I was a kid. Oh, I loved it so much. You could like pull out the little invitation from a tiny little envelope. Oh, and to be honest, I'm actually meant to be editing a video right now that took me the last 3 weeks to film. But I woke up this morning and I just really want to make one of these paper craft snail mail things for Thomas for Valentine's Day. So we're doing that. So I've landed on this one here as my starting point. I really like the idea of the envelope being the letter and it all folds out. And for the exterior, we're gonna do a combo of these kind of designs, I'm thinking. I'm not great with details, but we'll figure it out when we get to it. So first thing we have to do is I've got some like good quality cardstock here. Don't get distracted. So we're gonna cut this into our shape and I shouldn't be precise about it, but let's see. This took 2 pieces of cardstock, a tiny paper version, and far longer than I care to admit to figure out, but I eventually landed on a shape I liked where the bottom and top flaps overlapped without looking silly. I have this great paper trimmer that my stepmom gave me. She makes cards, so she gets trimmers that have a scoring tool on them, which makes this so much easier, especially with such thick cardstock. Also, I've lost the blade for this somehow. It doesn't want to close. All right, I need to trim these ever so slightly because the lines are too perfect. There we go. We did it. I think that the first step should really be doing the outside design because once I stick all of the little cute things in there, it's gonna be really hard to draw on the outside. Copic markers I think I'm gonna use for this. Is that gonna look any good? Probably better than if I do gouache because I'm really not very good with gouache. I think for this, I really just kind of want to have a play. Let's not get too hung up on it being perfect. We're just having a try at this. This is not my wheelhouse. I just want to have some fun. So we're gonna pick out some cute colors. We're gonna do some hearts. We're gonna do some bows. We're gonna do some stripes. It's gonna be good. I am gonna keep my little reference image here though because I need help. I'm trying to make this quite a relaxing video, but also I can hear Thomas watching World War Z in the other room. I find this quite funny. I managed to draw this in precisely the wrong order when there is a wonderful example video available to me on Pinterest, and yeah, I do think it would have been neater if I had drawn the lines first and put the bows on top. I don't know if it's because I don't practice it enough, but I get overwhelmed with illustration very easily. I do think when it comes to these sorts of projects, for me, the key is to push through and make it really busy so that you can't tell where all the mistakes are. For example, the black lines that are on the sides of all of those pink ones. Just realized I forgot to leave a spot for the stamp. I was gonna put a little spot for a stamp up here. That's all right, there's room in the heart. We can put a little stamp there. I have a sticker sheet that I've used most of the stickers on, so we're gonna use some of them for this. And seeing as I don't need to actually post this because we live in the same house, I'm gonna put a fake little stamp on. Cute. I gotta tell you, it's quite humbling to see the inspiration side by side with my attempt, so I had to do a bit of reminding myself that this is my first try, and look, if I have one job, it's to put imperfect work on the internet so that other people know it's okay to try and be imperfect too, and to be some sort of crafting court jester. When it comes to this kind of paper craft, this is nice, I tried, it's my best attempt. Please don't be mean. But the inside is where it really shines. So first of all, we're gonna get some cute paper on this so that we can cover up all of the bleed through that has happened. Just following our reference image, I have this whole bag of just like paper history stuff. This is, I'll be honest, I don't know what kind of book this is from. This side says that the chapter is Sea Squirts and Their Allies, but I am gonna put that one at the top there. I was hoping that at the store I would find just some cute little collections of paper. They don't do that apparently, that seems to be an online store thing. But I picked up this cute wrapping paper set and I didn't need this. I have lots of brown paper that I wrap all my presents with, but I guess we're gonna be going with a cute little picnic theme for the next year or so. They are quite cute. How does this work? What is with this double roll of tape? Why don't I understand this? Yeah, the wrapping paper is double layered, and at first I thought it was to stop the tape from damaging the paper, but I think it just results in both layers getting damaged, and actually I had to cut that first piece 3 times to get one without rips or glue on it. All right, it dries clear, everyone. Don't stress. We don't need to stress about how neat we're being. It's gonna dry clear, it's okay. I finally get to use my most adorable little letterpress set because oh, so cute. I accidentally bought 2 of this set. So like, I didn't realize when I bought the full-size lemon set that I had already bought the miniature lemon set. There's just something about letterpress. It is so nice and expensive to get custom ones. I don't know if anyone's ever looked into letterpress invites for a wedding. Too expensive. So I have made some little friendship bracelets for Thomas. Are they friendship bracelets when you're married? So I thought that these little bracelets would be a great thing to put in the letter because they're basically 2-dimensional, and so you can just tuck them into a little envelope. There were some really helpful lists online, like somewhere I'll put them up here, of like 65 things to put in your fun happy mail. Was it called Happy Mail? I think it's called Happy Mail. So cute. So we get to put our first little one on. I'm gonna put it here. Oh, it's so pretty. It makes me so happy. We're gonna double-sided tape this one. I love it so much. That is so cute. Thomas loves maps, and in particular, he really loves the Melways, which is, oh, I should explain that for people. That's like the Melbourne Metro map book that you needed to buy before GPSs. I think I used it once. Most of you would have had something like that, I think, in wherever you are, but let me know what they were called, because I always thought they were all called Melways, and then I realized that was for Melbourne. But the point is, I printed out a map which shows the area that we had our first date. So for our first date, we went and got lunch and a couple of drinks at a place called Yellowbird. So I am going to make a little yellow bird to put on the map. I think it's just, if it's a yellow bird, it's gonna be a duck. Now, obviously the map and most of the things I'm putting in this snail mail are super personalized, but I think that's the great thing about making something like this. You could put basically anything here as long as it folds flat. Let me know if you send snail mail or what you would put in if you did, because I highly recommend this as a sweet and cheap way to show someone you care. I've managed to put the heart right in the center so that I can't fold it in half to fit. Okay, it'll have to be thirds. Oh, that's right where the duck is. Oh no. The map didn't fit any of the envelopes I had, so I just made a little sleeve for it out of some cardboard. That was looking a little plain, so I used another book page from my vintage collection. This one is about amoebas. It's coming together. So on my analog hobbies vendetta, what do we call it? I have recently got into film photography and I'm having the best time. I have a Kodak Ektar H3.5N. I got my first roll developed and yeah, like half of them are too dark to see a single thing. This one in particular here, Thomas said he really liked. You can see me in the rearview mirror taking the photo, and also this little photo of Alf in the back of the car. I wanted to get the really cute, like transparent paper that you see in some of these craft things. I have no idea where I'm supposed to buy that from locally. So I have some baking paper and I'm gonna make a little sleeve for our pictures just with that. Yeah, just like figure I'll just like wrap it up. I hope double-sided tape sticks to baking paper. Oops, ooh, I don't think it does. It's the whole point of baking paper, it's non-stick. Well, let's find out if glue works on it. Boy, I hope it sticks. Close enough. So there's a cookie recipe that I always make for Thomas. I've made it a bunch of times on the channel. It is a vegan chocolate chip cookie recipe from Chocolate Covered Katie. It is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. It's the only one that you need, especially if you're vegan. I have this like constant fear that one day, the websites that I go to get recipes from are just gonna disappear and I'll never get to make that thing again. So I want to write this one down so that we don't lose it. And what I thought would be cute is if I paint a little chocolate chip cookie and then write down the recipe on the reverse, and then we can attach that in there with a little bit of string. Huh? Yes. But yeah, I'm not great at painting. I'm not great with gouache, but I bought it. And so we're going to try to use it. Brown is one of the hardest colors for me to do. It's too much paint. I always do that. It's always too much paint. That's just like an amazing skin tone. Is the cookie even light brown? I don't know. Okay, so I've been practicing with dyeing fibers and I am actually getting slightly better at color theory, I swear. I am, however, not getting better at painting. Any gouache users out there, do you have any tips for how I can get better? Like, should I just do one of those paint by numbers things? Because I know that when used properly, gouache looks awesome, just not when I use it. Like, look at this gorgeous print from Hoglet & Co. And look at this veiny looking cookie. What do we think? Is it apparent that it's a chocolate chip cookie? Or does it look like just a sample of some freckly skin? Who's to say? While I waited for the cookie to dry, I wrote out the ingredients for the reverse, but my hair fell in the way, so you can't really see. It's almost like I was going for some interesting framing for the shot, but I really wasn't. Oh look, I realized at this point, but my writing is so tiny that you still can't see it anyway. For the recipe, I just wrote the ingredients, baking time, and temperature because it's cookies, and I know how to make those. Just stuff everywhere on my table, ignore it. So another thing that I want to put into our snail mail is some writing prompts for Thomas. So he plays a bit of D&D, and he also does some creative writing. He is excellent at limericks. I'm going to use, finally, my tiny little Muji writing set that I have had at least 3 or 4 years. Oh wait, did I get this on our first trip to Japan? I might have gotten this on our first trip to Japan, which was like nearly 6 years ago. It was 6 years ago. I've had these for 6 years, so we're finally having use for them. I thought of a couple of writing prompts for Thomas, so we'll write those out and put it in. Just in case anyone else would like my random writing prompts and cannot read my tiny writing, here they are. A space cabbie recounts the tale of their most interesting fare. The adventures of Grandma's never-ending pot of soup. The birds have been watching the house for days. No one goes in or out. And after 2 weeks at sea, the fishing vessel returns to find everything and everyone in the town inexplicably changed. I don't know, let me know if those are helpful. All right, I am running out of light and our cookie isn't dry yet. So we will finish this up tomorrow morning. Good night. It's so weird to say good night during the video, but I just kind of need to let you know that my appearance will change and I will look different in the next scene. Good morning. The cookie is still not dry. It turns out that I don't really know how gouache works. In my head, it was just slightly thicker watercolor and I thought that it would dry really quickly. It is watercolor, I think. So I'm gonna just attempt to thin out some of the chocolate chips because they are still quite sticky. And hopefully that will help it dry quicker because I really do need to be able to close it inside the envelope today. No! I think I just made it worse. This was a mistake. Well, probably should have just left it. All right, let's put that aside to try and hope for the best. So with our little design, the cookie is gonna go here. And so what I was thinking is I wanna make some really teeny tiny envelopes to go in this spot here and here. And we can put little tiny Valentine messages in them. And then on this side, I wanna do a word search. I don't know, I used to make word searches when I was a kid and this is feeling very reminiscent of primary school arts and crafts. Let's make a Valentine themed word search. How do I do this without getting gray lead lines on everything and then being sad about it? It's gonna be fine. So the way that I've always done a word search was you just put the words in as best you can and then fill in all the gaps with other letters, right? Super easy little cute craft. This word search nearly broke me. I put in the Valentine's themed words and then filled in the gaps with random letters, as you do, but then I went over it all with a fountain pen. This was a mistake. When I went to erase the pencil markings, I smudged the pencil and ink even after waiting quite a while for it to dry. So as I had just eyeballed the grid lines in the first place instead of measuring them, I just redid it without the grid lines at all. Using a waterproof fine liner this time that is actually meant for drawing. Crazy how much better that worked. Oh, to write it all out and then have the eraser smudge it, but I remembered to use the correct pen and we're all good. So we are getting there. We're nearly finished. The cookie won't dry. It's much worse now. I've made it even wetter. So, but I have made an absolutely teeny tiny envelope and letter pattern. So cute and tiny. I want to put in some really kitschy, traditional little Valentine's notes. Oh, I thought I'd be able to fit 3 on here. Let's try and clear some space because we've made a huge mess and it's stressful. Oh my gosh. You ever just in your own mess and who did this to me? For this one, I want my teeny tiny brushes. I want my gouache. That would be a good start. I don't know why I keep doing painting. It just always kind of stresses me out because I don't do a good job of it. We're gonna get better eventually. Should I be using watercolor instead of gouache? Yes, I'm gonna use watercolor. It's slightly easier. And then I get to use this little set that I bought so long ago and haven't barely touched. Wait, where is all the paint? There it is. Oh, this one comes with a little palette. Look at that. Yeah, most of these are still in their wrappers. Good stuff. I'm gonna use a waterproof pen and then draw my design and then I don't have to paint it. God, what does an M look like? Does it look? I don't think it looks like that. Flowers are really difficult to do, I find, unless I do like the most absolute basic, like daisy, how a child would do it, which even then, I still, oh God. And we'll just do a happy little bee face. And I'm pretty sure that they have like a little body like that. Why do we always draw bees with boots on? It just feels very natural for it to have little like Wellingtons on. There, and we'll just have a smile. Oh, wings, they need wings. I feel like I've made my bee somehow too realistic to be cute. I also don't know how many legs they have, and I refuse to look it up. I saw this cute illustration on Pinterest, so I tried my own version of it, and of course I butchered it. I fixed it, although I did still manage to forget the cats have whiskers. I told you I don't see details. Before I could finish, my top-down camera turned off. I don't seem too upset about it though. This was another cute design I found on Pinterest, and I thought it was pretty perfect seeing as we met on a dating app, and we did indeed match. I found my good eraser, so no smudges this time. Allow me to explain why the bee is blue. This is an Australian blue-banded bee, a native to our area that I only saw for the first time last year. They are so cute, and apparently they don't live in hives. The female lives in a burrow, and at night the males cling to a branch using their mandibles. They are incredibly fast, so it's really hard to get photos of them, but I'm always super excited to see one. When those were dry, which took no time at all by the way, unlike gouache, I folded them up into their tiny envelopes. Okay, making tiny little letters and putting them into tiny little envelopes is, I think, a childhood dream come true. Feeling very satisfied. We really are now just waiting on that cookie to dry. But while we're doing that, there are a couple little things that I would like to improve. So I'm gonna do some little like finishing touches on some of these pieces, and then I'll put the cookie together when it's finished and we'll be done. Gosh, isn't that some nice relaxing music? I know that I am personally chaos, but this is actually the main kind of music I listen to. Well, neoclassical and also like Norse sounding chant music in languages I can't understand. Apple Music calls it world music. What even is that? Anyway, I tried using this sort of music earlier in the video and it just doesn't jive with my random thought interruptions. So apologies, I know I promised a relaxing video, but I guess I'm not a relaxing person. Okay, so I was still waiting for the cookie to dry, so I decided to just redo it in watercolor, and oh my God, it's so much better. Like, what even is that first one? Okay, time for some more lovely calming music and then we're done. It is finally finished. I am pretty happy with it, I think. You've seen most of it already. It's time to give it to Thomas, and look, I do get a lot of comments from people saying that they want to see Thomas's reaction to the gifts that I give him, surprising amount for the channel. The thing is that he's not the YouTuber I am, and it's super personal sharing like a real reaction to a gift like this. That being said, this is Thomas's favorite kind of gift, like super personalized and handmade things, so I'm going to make an exception this time. All right, let's go have a look.
A little string? Ah! Oh, I think it's great, it is. I'm Thomas. Oh, look at all this. Oh, it's a cookie. My favorite bit is the map. Look at that, it's really good. We had it, what was I supposed to say? Look in all these little envelopes. I really like the cookie. I think my favorite bit's the cookie. It looks really cool, and the string, it reminds me of that fairy garden book. Thomas's favorite is the map.
Like and subscribe.